Hey, what's up everyone? This video is going to be about Casey Kasem. I've been meaning to make this video for a good while now. For me, and for my mama also, we very strongly feel, I can even remember feeling that, I can even remember hearing that on various shows, that Casey Kasem was born in Turkey. If you're familiar with Casey Kasem, and I've always been a big Scooby-Doo fan, and I still am a big Scooby-Doo fan, and I feel that the best possible replacement was Matthew Lillard. He does a really good job as the voice of Shaggy, and he did a really good job in the live-action movies. So, but back to the topic of Casey Kasem. I remember Casey Kasem being born in the country of Turkey. Now, I looked up a while back, I looked up his history, and found out that he was actually born in a Michigan hospital here in the United States. But his parents were Turkish immigrants. So they came here from Turkey. Now, I'm sure you already know that Casey Kasem is a very well-known American disc jockey. He was a DJ and hosted the American Top 40 before Ryan Seacrest took that job. And he did the AT40 for many, many years. He started the American Top 40. And he would always say, "Keep reaching for the stars and rock on. Just keep reaching for the stars." And I thought that was really cool when he did a DJ impression. He said, as the voice of Shaggy, he said, "Hey," he's like, "Hey Scoob," he said, "You want to hear my throat's sore right now. I don't feel like doing voice impressions, but I would do voice impressions, but I can't do that right now." He stated that, "You want to hear me do my DJ voice?" And that was in the movie. That was in the Chill Out Scooby-Doo movie. It was Chill Out Scooby-Doo. He actually did his DJ. That was one of his last movies, if not the last movie that he voiced Shaggy. Well, it was one of the last. And if you look up where he was born, it says Detroit, Michigan. Now, he was born Kemal Amin Kasem. And I know that he was one of the, I remember looking up that he was born in Turkey, the country of Turkey. I seen it. I remembered seeing that Casey Kasem was born in the country of Turkey. And being such a fan of Scooby-Doo, and being such a fan of Casey Kasem and all the cast of Scooby-Doo, being well aware of Casey Kasem my entire life, I always loved Casey Kasem and Sterling Holloway, who voiced Winnie the Pooh, the original Winnie the Pooh, and Jim Cummings, and because Winnie the Pooh and Scooby-Doo were two of my favorite cartoons and shows growing up. They still are, because they hold that special place in my heart. They hold this, that not only the nostalgia, but everything that is just enjoyable for me, because it brings back my childhood memories. But I just still enjoy these. I still enjoy cartoons to this day. That's me. But I enjoy a little of everything. But I remember him being born in Turkey, because back to the topic of Casey Kasem. But not only was I a big fan of him, but I definitely Paul Winchell, who played Tigger. I loved Paul Winchell, and found out about Goober and the Ghost Chasers a while back, and never heard of that. But he voiced a dog, kind of like Scooby-Doo, but it was another mystery cartoon where they hunted ghosts and monsters and just villains, like the paranormal, basically the supernatural. They always hunted the supernatural. They only made one season of that show, and I wasn't even aware of it until a while back when I was when I noticed Paul Winchell, and I was like, that is something I'd never seen before. So it was shows relating to Scooby-Doo, and I just seen it, and so I looked it up and watched some of the episodes online on Kim Cartoon or Kiss Cartoon, one of the websites that has those shows available. And so I looked it up and I found some of the shows. I watched a few of them. I won't have to watch the rest of them. And found out that Paul Winchell was... I had never heard of Goober and the Ghost Chasers. I've heard of many, many cartoons of Hanna-Barbera, because I've always been a big Hanna-Barbera fan, and the classic cartoons, I've always enjoyed them. And for me, when I noticed that Johnny Quest change was a big deal for me as well. Johnny Quest not having an H in the name, that was just like, what? I mean, that was weird, because I remember they had Boomerang on Cartoon Network, and they had these specials on Friday nights and the weekends, back before Toonami and they took over with Adult Swim and all that at night. They had a lot of good cartoons, and they would air like Johnny Quest and then Captain Planet. Yeah, they would air that, and that was always on during that time. And that was when that's when I remember Johnny Quest, and I remember the H being in Johnny Quest. But back to the topic of Casey Kasem. I've covered various Hanna-Barbera stuff for this video. I remember him being born in Turkey, but apparently in the current state of everything we see around us, the current history that's played out, that's shown in documentation, Casey Kasem was born in the Detroit, Michigan hospital in the United States on April 27th, 1932, born Kamal Amin Kasem. I remembered him stating that he was part of a peaceful section of, over in the Muslim countries, Islam. It was, but he said he was, I forgot what branch of, he was over in some kind of a peaceful, he said he was a peaceful tribe. He came from a peaceful, not a tribe, but a peaceful section of the Muslim nations of Turkey, the area of Turkey. He came from, it was sort of a branch of that belief, but it was like, I mean, it was a different, I forgot what Casey Kasem stated. He said that his parents and he were from a, they didn't go by some of the others. They were in the, I'm trying to remember what he said, but I can't remember. Well, I mean, his parents were Lebanese. Oh, Lebanese. I thought it was Turkish. Okay. Kasem was named after a Turkish leader. Interesting. That is an ME for me. His parents were Lebanese immigrants from Lebanon. I remember that they were a peaceful tribe, a peaceful nation, basically. The people of where his parents came from, they wanted to leave the area. They were a peaceful group, and they wanted to come to the United States. So they named Kasem after the Turkish leader Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, a man Kasem said his father respected. His parents did not allow him or his siblings to speak Arabic and insisted they assimilate. So, in the 1940s, Make Believe Ballroom reported inspired Kasem to follow a career in radio, and later he hosted the national radio hits countdown show, the American Top 40. I don't know why it doesn't state that right here, but that's what he was hosting. But he also hosted the Hits Countdown. Kasem received his first experience in radio hosting in the Northwestern High School in Detroit. He then went to Wayne State University for college. While at Wayne, he voiced children on radio programs such as The Lone Ranger, Challenge, and Challenge of the Yukon. In 1952, Kasem was drafted into the United States Army, and he was sent to Korea. There, he worked as a DJ and announcer on the Armed Forces Radio Korea Network. And then he hosted the American Top 40 and was on multiple TV shows, cartoons. He did multiple voices. He also voiced Robin on the cartoon with Batman and Robin. He went on to voice Shaggy, obviously, which is a huge, very well-known role of his. And after doing the American Top 40 and giving the job to Ryan Seacrest, he went on for much more voice acting. And as you can see here, the American Top 40 for many years, Casey's Top 40, and other things he did, and he had a lot of filmography basically as well. So yeah, but I'm sure you're well aware of who Casey Kasem is. But just let me know. Also, he reminds me and my mom a lot of Dr. Oz. That's another thing. He reminds us a lot of Dr. Oz. And Dr. Oz is from Turkey. This in this picture especially, he looks like Dr. Oz, in my opinion. I mean, he looks a whole lot like Dr. Oz there in this picture. But yeah, Casey Kasem. Do you remember him being from Turkey? Well, apparently his parents were from Lebanon, or they were of Lebanese descent, and they migrated over here. Did not want him to be the part of Islam, so his parents were of a peaceful section, and they migrated to America, and that's where he got his start. And so he then became a DJ and voice actor. So anyway, let me know what you remember regarding Casey Kasem. Do you remember him being from the Middle East and coming over here, rather than just his parents being from the Middle East and of Middle Eastern descent? Because apparently he was born in a Michigan hospital. Sorry, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time talking right now. But yeah, he was born in a Michigan hospital, and his parents were from the Middle East. So let me know what you remember. If you have, if you know about Casey Kasem, much information about Casey Kasem besides, his voiceover and radio hosting work, his DJ work. So, I mean, I'm sure you're well aware he was a radio personality and that he was also a voice actor, but let me know your memories. Do you remember him being from the Middle East and migrating over here, rather than just his parents migrating from the Middle East, coming over here, and he was born in the Michigan hospital? So let me know your memories. So I probably went on longer for this video, but anyway, much love and peace. I think another storm is coming up right now. Anyway, we've had some very strong storms, very loud storms, and a lot of heavy rain. So I'm going to go ahead and have to end the video here, I believe. So much love and peace. Bye.